Good afternoon, I'm Tanya du Preez with 2NURFM Hunter News. A volunteer firefighter who died while battling the Stanford Merthyr bushfire is being remembered for his bravery. The deputy captain reported as 48-year-old Paul Sanderson suffered a heart attack and collapsed while working on the fire at about 7 last night. Emergency Services Minister David Elliott says his thoughts go out to the man's family and friends.
The loss of the deputy captain has reminded everybody of the dangers that our emergency services face every single day, and when one considers that this particular gentleman was a volunteer, it just goes to show how much of a sacrifice our volunteer emergency service workers make.
Another 1.5 billion litres of Hunter drinking water has been ruled off limits as the Tomago sandbeds join the list of areas now considered at risk of contamination from Williamtown RAF base. Hunter Water is calling on the Defence Department to make Tomago a top priority after it was forced to shut up to 3 pump stations sitting in the investigation zone. Interim CEO Jeremy Barth says immediate action is needed to future-proof supplies.
Underwater is calling on the Department of Defence to urgently develop a remediation plan. Enough time has passed, enough investigating has gone on. The Department of Defence needs to urgently start remediating the Tomago sandbeds, extracting the contaminants from the sandbeds so that Underwater can regain access to that 1.5 billion litres of water that it has indefinitely lost.
Meanwhile, the contamination crisis has claimed yet another victim. The region's prawn trawlers agreeing to an indefinite fishing ban spanning the length of the Hunter River. It comes after testing found prawns caught along several points of the catchment contained elevated levels of the chemical perfluorooctane sulfonate. Mental health providers across the Hunter have welcomed the news of the government's $350 million national reform of mental health services. These services will aim to provide better individualised care rather than a one-size-fits-all policy, focusing on local responses to mental health and suicide prevention. Hunter Institute of Mental Health Director Jaylee Skian says this is a step in the right direction.
What this means is that there'll be a whole range of service providers and communities in their region to better plan and deliver mental health services that are based on what individuals need and also plugging in new innovation and technology into those approaches.
Save Our Rail has disputed legal costs awarded against it after the Court of Appeal overturned a Supreme Court decision over the removal of the Newcastle rail line. The group is seeking the ruling to be set aside, including over $800,000 in legal costs. President Joan Dawson says the government should have withdrawn after it passed legislation to close the rail line, as it is unlikely the group will be able to pay these costs.
We haven't been given a figure, and certainly Save Our Rail is not in a position to pay legal costs. Our representation has been out of goodwill.
Sport, thanks to our sponsor, Warners Bay Sports Club.
The Newcastle Jets will be looking to secure another win on home turf tomorrow night when they take on competition leaders Brisbane Roar. Despite their improved form this season, the squad have come under fire for their lack of victories at Hunter Stadium, taking only 4 of a possible 12 points. But coach Scott Miller says every win is important.
Every point is valuable to the squad, especially against Brisbane and Adelaide, the teams that have been successful the last couple of years. So we need to maintain our performance and really be focused for the weekend.
Nelson Bay Rugby Union star Ben Matwijo secured a Super 15 contract with the Queensland Reds. Matwijo, nephew of former Newcastle and Hunter Rugby Union General Manager Warren Lees, will see out the contract before returning to Canterbury to play in the Provincial Championship in 2016. And in cricket, Maitland's Luke and Grant Stewart are gearing up to contest the New South Wales Country Championship final this Sunday at No. 1 Sports Ground. That's sport. I'm Tandi Chindoya.
2NURFM News Time is 12:10.